Hello everyone, Don here again with the next update on the shop doings here. I ended up finishing up my blast cabinet. I was able to take out the pump assembly because it was leaking around the base where it bolts on, and I was able to use my riv nuts. I dug through my bench cabinet here, and I actually found 6 riv nuts all the same size in here. So I drilled it out, put it together, bought some stainless hardware, and I ended up buying a piece of an orange kind of neoprene gaskets from gasket material from the hardware store. So they're like 6-inch square chunk for $1 or $2. And I cut up a new gasket and I just doubled up the gasket, and that should be just fine. So the thing's working like a charm now. I've been blasting away with it, and it's doing its job. Alright, so some of the things I've been doing is I took my front spindles from the car. I had dipped them in acid before and then cleaned them up real good, and then I sprayed on a 5% solution of phosphoric acid. It's a green concrete etching type material. You can buy at Lowe's and Home Depot. But I'd sprayed it down. It kind of gave it a chalky white finish. So I threw these in the blast cabinet, as you can see, and shined them up. That's what's nice about this thing. Look at the kind of the shine that puts on these parts. So that's just raw steel. These aren't cast iron. These are cast steel. Cast iron would never hold up. But that's front spindles. I'm going to be using them because it's the stock setup. I'll get all new bearings, seals, and all that for it. But what I'm going to do is mask off this stuff here, and I'm going to powder coat this. I'll probably have to mask this off so the strut will fit back on here and mask it. But I'm going to powder coat probably black. And this is one of the lower rear control arm. You can see I blasted that too. These had, like I said once before, been soaked in acid to get the heavy rust off. So I threw this one in there just to see how it would clean up, and that's the way it cleaned up. There is still, because it was a little tough to see in the cabinet, there's still a little bit of rust down in here that I missed, but I'll re-blast it. These here were soaked in acid to get any heavy rust off of. These are hinge plates that go back in here on the inside. There's a pocket in there. I don't know if you can see them, but they fit up in there, and there's some things that hold these in place. So there's 4 of them, 2 for each door. But those, I'm just cleaning them up to get the rust off of them, and I'll probably just throw some paint on these. So I've got 4 of those, 2 for each side. Now these ones here, I had thrown in the acid to re-strip the rust. There's a little bit of on there, but I'll throw these in the cabinet and blast them too, and they'll come out shiny like that. Okay, so then the other thing, there was 2 more little parts I dipped. I was just looking for stuff to blast. So I took these here. There's one little screw that holds them in. You can see that one over there. See the screw on the bottom edge. Actually, this one over there should be on this side, and this one should be over there. The difference is the hole. There's a hole back here. Should be up here, but that was with a different. What it is your interior panels go in here, and a screw comes in through from the interior panel into here. So I flipped them around, put the hole in the back, so when I put the panels in, I'll be able to drill a new hole and screw the panel in, whereas it may not match up with the holes because the holes aren't. You just kind of see the hole there. That one's high. If you can just barely see it there. And this one here is low. So the panels may not match up. So I figure I'll just put them in backwards because they're identical other than that hole. And that hole's made when they put the interior trim, put that whole one-piece panel in back here. It goes all the way up around, all the way back there, all the way over this, and here it goes clear on this inside. So I put those in. Those I just stripped them, threw on some primer. You know, this is all primed. This is all primer. So I'll throw some silver paint on there like I did up there. There's silver all up around there. Well, because I plan on shooting this whole interior with the silver. You can see I got some silver in there. There is another panel that goes right here. I gotta find those because I can start putting some of these pieces back in place. So as I clean them up, just gonna put them on. So I gotta find those. I think they're in the house, parts that were cleaned up, maybe already be painted. Those will just get normal paint. Okay, so what I did is, you've seen before I was working on the housing. You see I've got it all polished up now after I got the cabinet working, and it works great now. This little collar here, I blasted that all clean, and then what I did today is I zinc plated a bunch of parts. I zinc plated this piece, I zinc plated this piece here, which is the centrifugal flyweight assembly, and I zinc plated the whole top assembly of that shaft in here, which covers this little thing here. That's your timing window, how much timing this will advance, and it's like 20 degrees. And this one is more than 20. I don't need more than 20. I only need 34. I'll have around 14 initial with 20 mechanical, give me a total of 34. That's all you need for 5 liter. And I got the 2 lighter springs in here. I have 2 light ones like this, but it'd be a little too light, but that'll be curved out anyways. And then these weights had special little plastic inserts in them, so this doesn't ride on the metal peg. But they broke taking it apart. They just shattered, and that plastic locked them in there. So what I did is I made up some new ones, but these are all zinc plated. All this stuff has been zinc plated so it won't rust up easily. And then this is the stator itself. Look at that thing. That was blasted in the cabinet, and I zinc plated that. So that's ready to go in. And then this was stripped. It was zinc plated, and I stripped it, plated it, and then I dipped it in the chromate, yellow chromate, to give it a little bit of a different color. But that's ready to go on. This is all done. It's all oiled and everything. So I can put this back in, line up the holes, and I got 2 brand new stainless steel screws in here for that. And then even these hooks here, I re-zinc plated these things, and then I dipped them in some gunmetal black bluing to give it a black finish. And I couldn't find roll pins to fit this, so I just found, I think they were 632 screws. I put in there stainless screws, stainless nuts to hold those on. And then I got 2 new stainless screws for here. I've got this all tore apart because I'll be doing something special with this vacuum advance for the vacuum timing. I'm going to order a new one of these because as you can see the wires have been busted. They were just kind of taped up, and the thing's a real piece of crap. This is the lock tabs, and this are busted off of it, so it's sorry, these lock tabs are broken here and here, so this is no good. So I'm going to get a new one of those, and that'll be ready to go on there. And then the arm from the thing comes in, hooks to that, and does the vacuum. And then this can go back on. This gets pushed in with a little tiny roll pin. It goes right inside that groove and right in one of these little grooves. You got 2 grooves there. They're identical, so it doesn't matter which way it goes on, but it has to go on like this. So that'll be ready to go on. And then I blasted this too. It came clean, but it's got kind of a dull finish to it. I was trying to heat it up with a torch here to see if I can bring a little bit of shine back. So it's usable, but I may end up just buying a whole new cap for that. And you can get all 3 of these things in a kit. So that's kind of where I'm at. But all these are going to get powder coated, probably just a matte black finish. To make some little plastic bushings for those flyweights, what I did is I took one of these. I just got this little kit here, vacuum T fittings, straight fittings. And I took one of these straight fittings, and I found a drill bit that just fits inside the hole where you got to literally press it on. And I just clamped it in the thing here, and I cut it down back through here. I left this end barb on there, and I cut it down till it would fit in those flyweights, just a little oversized, and then I just cut it off right there. And then I press that into the weight, trim the bottom off, and then trim the top down, and I got myself a new set of bushings. And then I'd run a 127 thousandths drill bit through there, and that was, I look at my little chart here, a 128.5, it's like a number 30. I needed to be just a little bigger because those posts on that flyweights goes on as 1/8 inch, exactly 1/8 inch, and this is a number 30 drill bit that I use to ream them out, and they swing nice and free. So Last time I worked on this car last year, I was finishing up this. All it's left to do is get the top painted, because when you take the T-tops out, you can see the center of this thing. Right down through here, you'll see all this. There is a piece that goes across here, aluminum piece, but this is all viewable when the T-tops are out, and you've got rubber seals that all fill up in this channel, so you don't see much of that. So as soon as I get that painted, just like the inside, it'll be ready to pop rivet that all in place. The holes are all pre-drilled, ready to go in. I may try to find some thin insulation blanket to stick in there to help with heat and cold. I won't be doing much driving in the winter with this thing, but just a little insulation will go a long ways to help keeping the hot sun from baking the car. There's my exhaust that I was making. It's just all tacked together and still needs final welding once I'm happy with everything. So looking to get jumping on this. Like I said, I want to find these pieces and get those put in, get them locked in place. And like I say, the motor was set in place there to find out how to make the headers. I'm probably going to make my own custom headers. So, and they'll all be stainless as well. Oh, also, I told you I needed to get a new light. So I did. Let's see if you can see this new light in here, but it's a 4 light. Let me turn it on. Turn the thing on so you can see it. I bought this new light at Harbor Freight. It's a 4 bulb. Let's see if you can see it. Can't see what I'm doing in here, but it's a nice cheap little light. Came with all stainless hardware. And it's similar to this. This is a 6 bulb, and this is a 4 bulb, but it was only a $22 light. And as you can see, there's plenty of light in there now, so it works really nice. So this is, for the most part, is done. The only thing that I haven't been able to do is hook up a garden hose to this. I have no water in this building. So eventually, either I'll get water in here, or I'll get more garden hose to come in and hook to that, so I can plug it in, say, to, I don't know, run it somewhere outside to where I can hook the hose outside and have a thing routed in here just to feed this. So, but that's up and working, and it's working great, folks. So, and of course the new seal I put in the bottom of that is doing its job. No water's leaking out of the top of that assembly there. It's nice and good. So, but I just wanted to get this video done to show you that that's done. It's finished. There's nothing really more I need to do to it. I can use it, as you can see. I've been blasting all this stuff. I've got some more things soaking in acids. Pair of hood hinges. I got 2 sets, and I picked the better of the 2 and threw them in a tub of acid. It's uric acid is what I use. This stuff right here, just some uric acid, and then I mix that stuff up basically like gallon for gallon with water. And I got those parts laid in here right now, and this is the paint. And that's the paint that's come off of those parts. They've been soaking for a whole day. I threw them in there last night. Let's see what happens. This is a old welding rod. They should be pretty much stripped. They might be black too from the, it kind of gives it almost a phosphate coating. But yeah, these were painted when I put them in. Yeah, it's still painted. I can still see it right here, but see it? It's just peeling right off. Once I throw that in the cabinet, that should... I did this to get basically the rust out of it. Any rust down in the nooks and crannies. Now, depending on how they look after I blast them, if I feel the need to disassemble them, which would mean pulling out those rivets, and I'd probably just put bolts back in there, but strip these down, and if I got a big enough container and I have enough zinc plating solution to cover them, I may zinc plate them. Otherwise, they'll just get some good primer and be ready to paint with the car when it goes together. So I just put this on there because these fumes from that stuff, if there's any metal parts around it like that jack right there, it'll rust the hell out of it just from the fumes. So again, that's probably a 50-50 solution, half acid and half water. Straight works really good, but that shit smokes, man. When you open a bottle, that stuff literally smokes, and it's really toxic. So, all right, I just wanted to get this out tonight, let you see what I've got done, and that the cabinet's doing its job again. It's working great, and hopefully that's the last mod I'll have to do to it. Again, the only thing left is to get that window cleaned off when you're working. It gets hard to see at times. So from now on, any videos after today are basically going to be on this thing, this Mustang project. I want to get, again, the whole underside is finished as far as painting and that. And my next phase is I've got the stainless tubing to make brake lines, and I've got stainless tubing to make the fuel lines out of. The fuel line's basically going to be just like this one here. I think this was a piece of 3/8 that I bought for another project. I have a whole roll of that in the house to run a 3/8 line all the way from the front to the tank. The tank has some rust on it. I'll just be using a wet blaster, a sand blaster with a water blast attachment to it that hooks to your pressure washer. And that's my tote to carry the sand, and it goes into the special attachment that hooks onto a pressure washer. And you do wet sand blasting, and that's what I use to do a lot of the stuff on the underside of the body, and it works super slick. So, alright, I'm going to cut this video off here and get this thing loaded up tonight so you guys see what I'm doing, and next week I'll get some more of this stuff. I may have this stuff. I wanted to get all this stuff clean first and have it all ready to powder coat it in one day. I've got the oven, and I've got powder coating gun, and I've got some just Harbor Freight satin black that I can use, and I don't know if I have enough, but I can always buy more as long as I got it in stock. So, alright, that's going to do it, folks. As always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or concerns, and I'll try to answer them as we go along. Appreciate everyone taking the time again to watch my videos. So, this is going to do her, and I'll get that distributor finished up. I'll get that magnetic pickup put in there, get that locked down, and bolt all that back together, and that'll be, and then the gear, depending on if I'm going to go with a flat tappet cam or a roller cam, it'll depend if I need a hardened gear or just the stock cast gear that was on there. I'm actually leaning towards a flat tappet, just because you can get a better power out of a flat tappet than a roller at times. There's certain things you do, but they're reliable, and the biggest problem today is everyone's wiping out cams because they're using the wrong oils and not following the proper procedures. But there's a whole slew of information on YouTube about cams failing. So, alright, I'll cut this off now, and we'll catch you guys next weekend. And so everyone, just stick around if you want to watch more of my Mustang update, and hopefully I can be getting a bunch of this stuff done this winter. It did snow, so we got about 3 inches of snow out there, and that just all fell yesterday in one day. Alright, folks, thanks again for watching, and be sure to hit the like button on your way out. As always, this is Dino Don out.